are the best of...
Look at that!
We're in Aotearoa, New Zealand, and we are doing the biggest food trip ever. We're going top to bottom for 2 months in a camper van to find all the best food in Aotearoa.
We are starting this video in Tamaki Makaurau, Auckland, and we'll be finishing in the Waikato. This is going to be a video jam-packed full of really good food. We are travelling the length of Aotearoa, New Zealand to hunt down New Zealand's best food. This New Zealand food series will delve into the heart of our country's food culture. We'll share the foods Kiwis love to eat, take you into the kitchens of our nation's favourite local eateries, and go behind the scenes of New Zealand's incredible food, from pāua and crayfish to oysters and dairy, showing you a side of these industries you've never seen before. This video kicks off on the outskirts of Tamaki Makaurau, Auckland. We slurp briny oysters at an oyster farm before heading south to a town called Pokeno in the Waikato region, famous for its bacon and giant ice creams. You don't want to miss this series. Hit subscribe and get ready for some mouth-watering food.
I'm Thomas.
And I'm Sheena, and we're chasing a plate.
We hope you're hungry. Let's eat. Because this is a 2-month camper van trip through New Zealand, we're not really focusing on the big cities. We think the camper van is much more fitting with the smaller towns, the countryside, the small producers, and the best New Zealand has to offer outside of the big cities. So we've come from the north, that's where all the first episodes in this huge season of episodes has been from, but we've now cut through Auckland, New Zealand's biggest city, so about 1.5 million people live in Auckland. Right now we're right on the outskirts of Auckland in the countryside, and we've made a stop here for a little snack of oysters. This is an oyster farm. The ocean's just over there where the oysters grow, and we can buy some from the shop right here. So let's get some oysters.
I think we got here at the right time because these guys are nearly sold out in all of the oysters, so we managed to nab a dozen of the large ones. This is a really neat business, so still family owned and operated, and it all happens right here. So the grading and the shucking just happens through there, and the oysters are literally in the ocean out the front or out the back of the shop here. So let's grab our dozen oysters and get into them.
This is my idea of a great snack. When you're very close to the biggest city in the country, you can come out to the countryside, right beside the ocean, which you can't see because it's just behind the building, but it is just behind the building. So the oyster boats come in right there, and all the beds are right there. So these are an organic oyster, but they're wildly farmed. So they're out there in the ocean, so there are no additives, so they're totally organic. And these are big. These are some beautiful big oysters. So these are Clevedon coast oysters, so a rock oyster. So very simply done too. Look, lemon, just go lemon all over the oysters, nothing else. Oh, I've got a pip in there. Let's just dig it out. Actually, I need the fork just to dig it out. Break it out there, straight down. Oh my God. Oh, because these aren't the jumbos, but they're not the pearls, which are the tiny ones. They're the large, so they're sort of the medium-sized one. So they're both sweet and creamy, all at the same time. Great body and texture to it. So a lot of chew. You can actually really eat it, and that's with an oyster. You've got to eat it. There's the old thing where people say, "Oh, just straight down the hatch." Never do that because you're not getting the flavor. You need to chew it and experience the joy, and that is so good. Obviously, so fresh because we're so close to the beds. Beautiful taste of the sea, so beautiful saltiness. That lovely little tang of lemon just balances out that saltiness perfectly. That is a snack and a half right here on the side of the road on our way heading south. Awesome snack. We've just left the oyster place and we've popped into a little regional park which sits right above where the oyster place is. So just behind me here is where we're eating, but this is the water where they came from. So from this beautiful green water here, those beautiful creamy sweet oysters straight out of there. That was a great snack. Back in the van, on the road. We've just made it into the Waikato region, so we've crossed from the Auckland region into the Waikato region, and this is pretty much the first town once you cross into the region coming south from Auckland, and this is called Pokeno. Now there's two very famous things here, and it's quite a neat little town because this road right here used to be State Highway 1, so this used to be the main trunk line north and south New Zealand, so it used to be incredibly busy, heaps of trucks, and you always used to have to pass through this town. And the real famous thing in this town was to have an ice cream. But not just any ice cream, a ginormous ice cream. And as someone who was born and raised in Auckland, it was always the legendary Pokeno Ice Cream. And I've never actually stopped here and had one, but your friends talked about it and you always were desperate to. So today's the day we get a Pokeno ice cream. But it's also bacon from Pokeno is very, very well known. And so we're going to pop into this shop here called Pokeno Bacon, and we're going to use that product. So we're going to buy a whole lot of meat products from this specialty bacon shop.
This shop has so much history. It's been around since the 1970s and it's still a family-run business, and it's just all things pork. They also do some beef and lamb as well, but mainly it's pork. There's sausages, there's bacon, there's pork hocks, all sorts. And we were just talking to the gang and they said that most of the pork comes from the Waikato region, so we thought it just came from Pokeno, but it's from the wider Waikato region, and some of it comes from other parts of New Zealand. But that's what's exciting about New Zealand food culture. Provenance is really important, and people take great pride in knowing where the food comes from and being able to tell you where it comes from. I'm just standing in front of the bacon fridge, and we've just got to choose the cut of bacon for the meal that we're going to cook up. So they've got everything streaky, they've got nitrate-free bacon, they've got middle bacon, bacon pieces, all sorts. So it's time to make a decision.
All right, bacon and sausage purchasing done, and now it's ice cream time. Now, this ice cream shop serves Tip Top ice cream, and Tip Top ice cream is the sort of the standard ice cream in New Zealand. It's the most produced. It's a huge company that makes very good ice cream because New Zealand is very well known for its dairy products, and so the ice cream is of a very high standard. But this is not a specialty ice cream or anything like that. It's Tip Top. It's the standard ice cream. It's the ice cream that we all grew up with. We had this all as kids, so we know these flavors all very well, but this place is so iconic to get an ice cream, so let's go grab one. We've got all the ice creams lined up, and this place is famous because of the size of the ice creams. So you can see up here all the different sizes you can get. So it starts at $2 for 2 scoops, goes up to $15 for 15 scoops. So that is a ridiculously big ice cream. There's no way we could ever manage that, but we're going to get all the super iconic flavors and get something in the sort of the 5, 6, 7 scoop range.
I know, the classic Kiwi flavors. Thank you. Okay. Holy moly, how big is this ice cream? Now, if you've watched our videos before, you know that I'm a mega ice cream fan, so this is pretty much my dream come true. We've got 6 flavors, and we talk you through what we've got. So this on the top here is Goody gumdrops. It's bubblegum flavored ice cream with lollies in there, so chewy jelly candy. This one here is orange chocolate chip, so orange flavored ice cream, chocolate chips, mint chocolate chip, hokey pokey, so vanilla ice cream with honeycomb, like little honeycomb balls all throughout it, boysenberry down here, and then this is goldrush. So these 3 are iconic, so classic Kiwi ice cream flavors, the ones that you love and that you grow up with. So I'm diving in for the Goody gumdrops. So good. Bubblegum flavored ice cream and lollies. It's such a fun flavor. And this is my personal favorite. This is orange chocolate chip. It just takes you back to your childhood. So as Thomas mentioned before, these are Tip Top flavors. Tip Top's like the biggest producer of ice cream in the country. And these are the flavors that we grew up with. So it's really nostalgic eating them. Oh, this is heaven. It's perfect too because it's winter time in New Zealand. These aren't going to melt for a while. And we're in the Waikato, which is the heart of the dairy country in New Zealand, and so Pokeno for these giant ice creams.
That is the most unreal ice cream I've ever seen. Now, Sheena is the biggest consumer of ice cream I've ever met, so I'll be lucky if I get my hands on it, but I'm definitely about to tackle her so I can get into that ice cream as well. That's a super cool place to stop, very iconic, and a thing you've got to do when you're heading south out of Auckland, and I'm so glad I can finally tick that off my bucket list. It's been on the bucket list since I was about 3 years old. That is an awesome ice cream. After having the epic ice cream, that giant ice cream, and buying the bacon and the sausages, we headed a bit further south, further into the Waikato, and we've actually decided to camp. So we slept here because we looked at the forecast, we saw it was going to be a beautiful, still, clear morning with a massive frost, so super cold overnight. So we thought, with the bacon and the sausages, let's do a full English breakfast, so a solid get the day started breakfast. So we camped up here, and this was a very cool camp actually. We're in Tokofita, a small town, and what they do is they let you camp here at the rugby club. So you can park up at the rugby club. It's free. Well, they ask for a $5 donation just to cover costs and for the community. But what they offer is power, so you can connect your van to power, which is really cool. So we had the heater on this morning when we woke up, so really unusual to have a free campsite that also offers power. But it's freezing cold, super ready for this breakfast, so let's get cooking. We've spread out all the stuff we're going to put into our full English breakfast, and look at that bacon. I mean, the unbelievable colour in that bacon, beautiful amount of fat. That is going to make the van smell unreal. We've got the sausages that we bought yesterday, so these are pork and bacon sausages, so they should have a nice little bacon tang to them. They're going to be awesome. We've got some white bread, thick slices of white bread. We're going to cook up some tomatoes. We've got eggs and some classic baked beans. Got to have baked beans with your big English breakfast. So let's get this all in the pan, get this breakfast on the go.
I've been thinking about these sausages all night long. One, because I'm super excited to eat them, and two, because I didn't want to burn them in the pan. I find cooking sausages in the pan super hard because sometimes they're raw inside and they're burnt on the outside. So I've just gently poached them in water. I'm going to tip that water out, and then everything is ready to go. We're going to cook everything up in the fry pan basically, except for the beans. Ooh! So we're going to chuck the bacon, the eggs, the sausages all into that pan, get it all sizzling up. The sausages are browning up super nice, so it's time for that bacon to go in. We agreed that we needed at least 2 slices each. Oh, okay, and it goes. Ah! Hear that sizzle? Oh yeah. Whoa, double yolker! I'm just plating up this big breakfast, and this is going to set us up for the day, I reckon. There is a heap of food on these plates and it's looking so good.
How is this for a breakfast of champions? Huge pile of beans, that amazing bacon which is crisped up and browned up beautifully in the pan. Sausages perfectly golden on the outside, really good poaching them first just for about 5-6 minutes in that water, and then they've just browned up beautifully without going black and drying up. I got the double yolker, so we got the double yolker egg,
Double sausages, double bacon,
doorstopper slab of white bread, full English. And now this is a very common breakfast here in New Zealand. Obviously with the heritage of New Zealand, we were a colony, a British colony, so this type of food's very common here. A full on loaded up breakfast. I'm just going to go straight for this bacon that we got yesterday.
I've got sausage and beans.
Oh my god. Oh.
Oh yeah. That sausage is so juicy. It's got a great flavour that only sort of artisan produced sausages can have, that really meaty, porky, bacony flavour. Really good. What's that like?
I've just had the sausage as well, so I've had both now. The sausage, like Sheena said, is meaty. It's packed with pork. It's not been bulked out with fillers. And the bacon is unreal. It's got a beautiful crispiness to it. It's very nice and dry.
Yeah. You know, sometimes bacon can exude a lot of water. That's bad quality bacon in the pan, really, because it's just been bulked out with water. This didn't do that at all. It was really dry.
Nothing came out of it. Just the beautiful fats came out of it. It's exactly what you want to see. And the taste is unreal.
Smoky.
Yep.
And it packs a punch. Like, my whole mouth is just infused with bacon.
And then what you can do with a breakfast like this, it's all about combos. So some bacon, some beans, I'll crack into some egg yolk. Oh man.
This is one of my favourite breakfasts ever.
Yes.
I love starting the day this way. And you get so full.
Yes.
It takes you through the whole day.
That is top quality stuff, and that really sets up this day because it's freezing cold, super hot, hearty breakfast. That's the end of this video, but we're boosting off a little bit further south, straight into starting to film the next video. So we're heading for a dairy farm actually, so get into this breakfast.
In the Waikato region, and it's going to be wild.
Woo, yeah!
Time to eat!